Oh, hey, welcome back. You're just in time. We're going to do another shop tour. So this is the 1955 21-foot Cobra, the one with the Cadillac engine that's been in here. It's been in here for about a year. We've been picking away at it. What we were waiting for was these parts. And we had to have these casted because they're unique to this engine. These join the engine exhaust manifolds to the exhaust pipes. And so they'll go right in after the exhaust manifold and then hook up to a copper pipe. These were missing, so we had to have these casted, and then we had to have them machined for the threads and the surfaces. We have the most of the interior done, and you can see the dashes in the boat. Ceiling boards are done, the seat base is done. The engine is close to aligned, but we have to check a few things before we actually bolt it down. And then we can finish out the deck. The varnishing is all done, the new name is on the back. And then we can really start putting this thing together. Got a little bit of wiring to do just to run the wiring, hook it up to the engine and the gauges, and it should be no problem to have this done in just a few months. So we have a 1957 23-foot Chris Craft Continental. This has come in here for a refinish on the sides and the deck. We're also going to redo the interior, paint the bottom. The customer wants it green instead of the copper, so we're going to do that. Square away the engine, send out the gauges to get those restored, and then just kind of go through the boat and make sure it's functioning properly, everything works. We've got to repair the horn. The bottom has been redone in this boat, so that's nice. It's got a newer 5200 bottom, so really it's just a lot of cosmetic stuff we're going to dress up over the winter. So this is a 1964 Chris Craft Super Sport 17-foot. This has been in the family all of its life. This is a one-owner boat. Matter of fact, the lady who owns this boat has skied behind this boat for 57 years consecutively. So pretty cool story. It's in here for refinish. The back transom is really in bad shape. And then so we also did the tops up here. So we took them down to bare wood and then restained and applied about 15 coats of varnish over the top of them. We're getting to our very last coats of varnish. We're also going to have the name put back on here in the next couple days. So we'll wrap this thing up and get it out of here before the snow flies so we can get another boat that's outside in here for winter work. So here we have a 1951 20-foot Chris Craft Utility Sportsman. Some people call them Sportsmans. I think that's what it is in the book, but they are the U-22s. So they're 22-foot utility is what most people call them, U-22. This one you may have seen in the video I did called The Last Boat Ride. And this is the boat we used for that. So we're going to put a new bottom on this. This had the original bottom on it. We're also going to change the engine out back to its original engine. It came with the KL and it had a 327Q in it. So we took that out, we rolled it over, and then we removed the bottom planking. So really the bottom of the boat was in really good condition. There was just two spots that we found that had a cracked frame in it, and that's right here and then up forward more. Other than that, it's a really solid bottom. So we'll get going on the inner planking and then the outer planking. If you want to see how that is done, a new 5200 bottom, we have that in a video as well, so you can check that out. So this is a 1948 20-foot custom Chris Craft. This is a boat that I restored in about 10 years ago, and then it went on to win in its class first place. So really nice boat. It hasn't been varnished in 10 years. So it's in here. We put 5 coats of varnish on it and then wet sanded and polished back most of the deck. That's what we're doing right now. A couple other things we're going to tidy up. Some of the rub rail was loose. And then also tightening up the stuffing boxes where the drive shaft and the rudder comes through. So we're tightening up those packings, make sure those don't leak. And then this boat will be out of here in the next couple weeks to make room for another boat that will be in here through the winter. So this is the 16-foot Chris Craft Hydro, step tall hydro that we've been working on, and I screwed up. So we were moving along so fast, we had our barrier coat down, we had some copper paint, we just put copper on it. Come to find out, and I knew this, the bottom's supposed to be red. So we rolled her over really quick, and we're gonna sand this down, then put the proper color red on the bottom. This also gives us an opportunity to drill the hole for the shaft on the new keel. So all is not lost. It'll be much easier to drill that through while the boat's upside down. And maybe I can show you a video how we do that. If you're not a Patreon and you want to support the channel, support me, that's a good way to do it. In the very last portion of the videos, there is a little icon for my Patreon account. And if you want to support me, that would be great. I'll probably throw that video up on there because it's going to be a pretty short video, pretty technical but short, and you can find that eventually on that, how we drill the holes through the bottom of the keel. So this is the 1950 25-foot Sportsman that's been in here for a while, and if you watch some of the earlier videos, you could see the shape that it came in here with. It was sat out in the desert for about 30 years, so it was in really bad condition. So where we're at on the project is we have all the bottom planks on and glued in. So what we did is we put that inner bottom on, we made all the outer bottom planking, and then we took those back off, and then we glued those down with 5200 and new bronze fasteners. So that's all done on there, never coming off again unless you router the plank off. That's how you have to repair these 5200 bottoms. You just take off all the fasteners and then you can router the plank out of there and put a new plank in if it's damaged. But hopefully we'll never have to do that. Also the chine cap, we got the chine cap made and on there. And then the guys went ahead and then planked the side too. So we're almost completely done with the sides, and I think what we're going to do is leave it right there as it is right now, and we're going to fair the hull as much as possible. We're going to mark off the water line, we're going to prep the bottom for paint, we're going to barrier coat it and paint it, then we're going to flip the boat right side up. That way we can still expose this shear shelf and stuff without it being covered with the side planks, because we want to make sure that our deck frames are accessible and we can properly fasten them to the side frames. So very important to keep that open. We'd like to have this flipped over by Christmas. So watch out for that. We'll probably share that in another upcoming shop tour. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to get going on the winter work here. We've got a lot to do, and we'll be sharing that with you. We're going to try to put one out about every month. So thanks again for showing up. If you want to support me, then make sure you hit that like button. Also subscribe to the channel for more. And if you want to support financially a little bit, then the Patreon is at the very end of the video or in the description below. So once again, appreciate you being here. We'll see you next time.